It is my pleasure to have you visit my channel. Give the video a pre-start by hitting the subscribe button. Due to the fact that Roman Reigns has just returned to WWE, Paul Heyman has not been seen in the company since he was assaulted and destroyed. It has been tweeted by him and removed it, despite the fact that Paul Heyman continued to compete in WWE when the Reigns stopped fall. Subsequent to WrestleMania XL, he was unable to, solely in charge of the company's internal operations. SEA acquired entire control and expelled the competitor, Jimmy USO, who has not yet made his way back to the business. Instead, he brought in each individual one at a time. Jacob Fatu, in addition to Tatonga Tongaloa, has also declared himself to be the next chief of the tribe at the time when Heyman refused to accept him as the genuine chief of the indigenous community was not, hitting him with the Samoan and having it with him. Atop that, he was then a spike in the market. As a result of the actions of Jacob Fatu and those members of the new lineage who defeated him and passed him via the table that was announced. Since that time, Reigns has made his way back to the firm. Nevertheless, Heyman has not been seen in a while. In a recent interview, John Cena said some things about Reigns and said that he had achieved his goal, despite the fact that, according to the data, he did greater than anything that The Rock has done since. Said in a tweet that John Cena had the proper response. After that, he required that each and every Roman Reigns should be acknowledged for some odd reason. A tweet was removed by him. Directly facts at the moment, the answer is John Cena. The right to recognize our chief of the #tribal. Roman Reigns is the genuine deal in WWE. The #GOAT of WWE Heyman that has been authenticated. I wrote Roman Heyman will be paired with Paul Heyman. Upon his return, while Paul Heyman is present, he reigns. When he gets back to WWE, it is expected that he will assume his position as the head of the Wise Men Up. Once again, he has shown a great deal of loyalty to this function, and it is likely that when it comes to how his return, he will go on with it for the time being. The supporters are at a loss to know when he will return. Among the people who are known to return Paul Heyman is the most crafty minds in the professional world, grappling with a guy whose comments have significant weight, power, as well as affect the relationship that he had with Roman, performs as the current WWE Universal Champion, and self-proclaimed participant in Tribal. One of the most dominating figures in history is Chief. Strategic alliances during the course of together, they have destroyed the industry. Challengers did not do well against their adversaries. Assured Reigns' position as the most important player in, aside from WWE, even the most unshakable identities might reveal flaws, particularly when ambition is involved. In addition to the role that ego plays, there was a calm the evening of Thursday when Heyman became renowned. According to his activities on social media late at night, shared anything that caused shockwaves to be thrown out by means of the WWE Universe. A straightforward but this tweet is really unnerving. It is when they're rulers that the greatest empires crumble. Develop a sense of complacency was a tweet, and included in the package is a photograph of Roman Reigns. It was captured during a recent episode of The Place Where He Sat on His Throne was SmackDown. A chair in the center of the ring is available for use. Encompassed by the remaining members of the lineage, Jimmy and JUSO, his cousins, and Solo are present. The graphic that was intended to represent the Reigns flow, a new kind of supremacy emerged during this time. The message hidden underneath Heyman's mysterious caption. For those who have been following the rising of the Reign, via Heyman's direction, the message was brought to Heyman had a chilling and unexpected effect on him, has shown unwavering allegiance to Reigns, making a formal announcement that he is the leader of the standings as well as the most successful champion of. Consistently, the abrupt change in tone was always, it is, to say the least, shocking that the tweet stayed up for just a few minutes, then it was over. Nonetheless, it was not removed before the wrestling match. Screenshots had been captured by the community, and began making assumptions about the significance of it. Heyman was dissatisfied when rumors began to circulate. When it came to Reigns, was there a power situation? The act of brewing inside the family tree, or was it only a brief period of annoyance that passes swiftly? Since the beginning, WWE fans have been the investigators. Instantaneously started analyzing recent events. Occurrences on a more self-centered SmackDown. Reigns had been confident than ever before, on the verge of. With his haughtiness, he had taken judgments without. It was determined by contacting Mon that the USOs, while he waved his hand and expressed his fears, he had ever shown even a little glimpse of rage. Approach his solitary silence. That Heyman's tweet was believed by some of the supporters. Enforcer. Reigns received a cryptic warning that his father had an unbridled ego might be the cause of his. When speculation reached a fever pitch, disaster struck. Visit the official social media accounts of WWE. Reports kept mute, which only fueled the fire. The mysterious Mon, who is famous for his abilities in order to manipulate any circumstance to his benefit, also had an unusually low level of activity, leaves admirers wondering whether this was all there was to it. Component of a more extensive narrative, or if there is, was actual anxiety on the other side of the stage. During the next evening's episode of SmackDown, though, one could feel the stress. The show started out, accompanied by Reigns, Mon, and the rest of the members of the bloodline making their way to the ring. A different and more tense environment prevailed. There is a prevailing stream of unpredictability among the supporters who typically torrential rainfall accompanied by a variety of shouts, and it was as if alcohol was waiting for something. Anything that would provide a clue as to what was. Reigns has never been more collected as he is right now. The champion had the microphone in his hand. Discussed the WWE in it. The entire universe. I am aware of the rumors that have been circulating. The individuals who speculate believe that there is something wrong with my home. There are rifts in the family tree, but in any case, one thing I want to make clear is that this is whoever attempts to challenge Empire and I will be crushed. In an effort to contest it, the audience surged, but the voice of the Reign had a smirk to it that seemed to. Having never been there before, he took a quick look at Mon, who was standing at his side and clutching the phone. Every single time the Global Championship continued. Paul Reigns, you've been with me from the very beginning, and you've seen everything, what I am able to do, but even you have to realize that. Pay attention to your position. Heyman's eyes, fright and a flash of enlarged eyes, his arms crossed. He swiftly nodded, despite his normally grim look. A little bit too hastily, and they elevated the championship. A great height for the audience to view, yet the relationship between him and Reigns has a dynamic, shifted the tension that was not being talked about. As Reigns continued to speak, hovered in the air because, make a statement demonstrating his authority over them, as well as reminding everyone why he is on the WWE roster, was the chief of the tribal people, the section. Ended. Reigns was the driver of the bloodline to the returning, but not before making one last casting, a glance that lingered on Heyman's face. It was a look. What I was trying to convey was, don't forget who's in. On the charge backstage, the stress was released. To the dressing room, where the reports started to come in. Rumors going around that Reigns and Heyman had a matchup, an argument that took place behind closed doors away from. Escaped the snooping eyes of the cameras operated by WWE. There are many that believe that they hear Reigns accusing an act of disloyalty Heyman, while some people gave the impression that Mon was putting up a fight, competing against Reigns' more and more dictatorial system attitude in the days that followed. The WWE's programming that made oblique references to the expanding division of Heyman's customary self-assurance manner had taken on a different tone. He was no longer the smiling, which caused him uneasiness. Special counsel, who had already assured Reigns that were carefully planned, yet he seemed anxious despite his triumphs. Tentative, as if he were walking all the time or more, surrounding the eggshells in the area, always wanting to be the champion of the WWE Universe. Observe each and every interaction for the drama by the use of baited between Reigns and Mon.